test run. As you know, this is a test run. I want to see how this one works. And then I'm just going to go for it. Ready? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Get Your Act Together with Mike Bain. Thanks for listening. Man. Guys, this has been the podcast from hell. It's probably going to be a quick one. This week I recorded a nice interview with a comedian, a very talented comedian by the name of Corey Rodriguez. We talk a lot about some deep stuff. Longest podcast to date. It was like a solid 2.5 hour podcast. And then I come back to the studio the next day to record after being talked out. And 30 minutes into the podcast, solo podcast that I recorded, I realize there's an issue with the audio and I have to dump it. So I record an hour-long podcast by myself after I've already recorded the 30-minute podcast. And I then run into the issue that I am in the process of transferring the podcast, and I don't know what happened, if the file got corrupted, if some data got lost, but the file's fucked anyway. So they're both gone. Both attempts are gone, and I'm going old fashioned, using my mic with my computer to record. I was like, all right, I'm staying at my parents to help them fix their falling apart house, especially because my father's health is rapidly declining. And at that point, I realized they don't have Wi-Fi. And the house is... I was just so old and paper thin that I can hear the boiler on like the second floor. It's insane. It's wild. And finally, thankfully, my cousin lives literally, he's my neighbor. I walk from my yard into his yard. And so now I'm over his place doing it here. It's been a wild week. And yeah, cleaning... I'm at this point with my parents where, like, it's not a fair trade. When you're young, I remember my father always said, I wiped your ass when you were a kid so that when you're older, you can wipe my ass. And that's not a fair trade, dude. Now that I'm getting older, I've realized that's not even remotely a fair trade, because... if you're a baby, right? What is that? When do you get potty trained? I don't know much about kids, but 2, 3? 3? Is that 3 years old, right? You start getting potty trained. Maybe 2 if you're a quick learner. You don't like diaper rash. You start getting potty trained, right? All right, so that's 2, 3 years of wiping a little baby butt that takes little baby poops. And I know babies can have some gnarly shit sometimes, but it's a little shit. And it's just a little baby, butt. No, it's not crazy. But then when you go to wipe your parents' ass, who knows? Your parents might have Alzheimer's for 10 fucking years, and you're sitting there wiping old people ass. That's a whole other deal, man. That's not even remotely a fair trade. Plus, they're taking those big, gross old people dumps, and they just kind of stink all together, and they whine and... Oh my God, dude. I'm realizing that with my father right now. He fell down today and I don't know. He said he shit his pants, but he didn't. Or maybe he shot it. Anyway, I spent over an hour today trying to pick my father up off the floor. I was like, you fucking son of a bitch. If you're an infant, you just pick him up. If you drop them, you pick them up, you dust them off, you smooth out that little dent that they got in their head, and you just off to the races, and they heal. Old people, they fall down, they break a hip, my hip, and then you gotta, dude, it's not a fair trade, man. Not even a remotely fair trade. Especially considering my dad is sick because he's a degenerate alcoholic and he put himself there. Anyway, not to start this off on a morbid thing. I don't know. I find that funny. He's sitting on... All right, this might be too much, but my dad fell down. I can't pick him up because when I try and pick him up, he screams. And if I don't pick him up, he screams. So there's really nothing I can do. And I can't call an ambulance because he won't go to the hospital. And me and my mom is sitting there, and I go, look, Ma, he came home and he chugged 10 nips at once. 10 watermelon Smirnoff, because apparently he's a college girl. Fucking asshole. Fucking, like, you want to drink yourself to death, be a fucking man about it and drink some whiskey, you know, or some gin. Fucking watermelon Smirnoff, you fucking fairy. So we're sitting there and we're both at our wits' end. Like, we're at a point in our lives where I'm looking at my mom, she's looking at me, and we're like, this is hell. This is awful. And then my father farts, and we both started dying. We both just looked at each other and just looked at him. Oh, God. Oh, all right. Maybe, Mike, you remember not everyone has your sense of humor. Anyway, I'm cleaning up my house, and my mom's a minor hoarder. Congratulations, guys. If you thought your week was bad and you're like, my family's fucked up, listen to me. Yeah, you'll feel so much better. My mom's a hoarder, and she's finally letting me clean because she really wants to change her life, and I'm very happy. And I'm realizing where I get my own tendencies, because we're in the process of throwing stuff out, and even then I'll look at something and I go, a 1992 Nokia phone, huh? Maybe I could sell this on Facebook Marketplace. And I just go, Jesus, Mike, this is how it starts. This is how it starts. All right, I'm looking at Palm Pilots and CD players. Dude, oh my God, I'm finding old 90s tech, and I'm like, oh, maybe I can sell this instead of just throwing it out. I also realize that's where I get my semi-clean clothes pile. I don't know if everyone does this, but I do this thing. I think most people do this, but I've lived with girls who don't. So here's the thing. You got your clean clothes, and some of you put them in a bureau or a closet. Sometimes I just leave them in a clean clothes pile because fuck it, you know, what the hell? I had a dirty clothes pile, a.k.a. the hamper. So you get your clean clothes thing, wherever they are, pile, drawer, closet, and then you get your dirty laundry in your hamper, right? But what do you do? Right, because if I wear a shirt out for the day shirt, you know, I've been out during the day, at night, and I'm going to bed, throw in the hamper. That shirt has been used. You know, I could potentially reuse the pants, but the shirt itself has been used, all right? What about, though, like I come home early and I'm kind of sweaty, so I got to change that shirt. I put on a new shirt, but I only wear it for like 2-3 hours and I go to bed. See, that's a semi-clean shirt. I haven't exerted myself and therefore made it stinky, but it's been worn, you know, and I don't know how to feel about it. You know, because sometimes you use your clothes and you go, you're used up like that dirty pig you are, you nasty t-shirt, and you throw it in the hamper. Get out of my sight. You make me sick. But the problem with the semi-clean clothes is I view them as quasi-dirty, like someone you fuck around with, but you would never marry. And then they just pile up because I never know, like, can I wear a semi-clean shirt? Like, it's still theoretically clean. It's only been 2 hours indoors, but can I wear that out to meet someone? I get trapped in these things. And then I end up with just a giant semi-clothes pile. And I go, where's all my clean clothes and why haven't I done laundry? And I definitely get that from Mom, just piling stuff up. Also, do you guys have clothes that you won't be seen? Do you have, like, clothes that you won't be seen outside with? They're like a bad hookup, and you go, I'm not being seen in public with you. You ever have that? I have that with certain clothes. And do you have certain clothes that you won't wear in front of certain friends? You only wear them in front of certain other people. I have that too. You get clothes. I get shirts that are like a bad hookup, and I'll be like, look, you know what this is. We'll do our thing. I'll get all up inside you. But I'm not taking you out in public and letting people see me with you. Ugh. You 15-year-old Bud Light shirt. You pig. Ugh. I only put you on when I'm feeling gross and depressed. And I start to stink. Oh, fuck, dude. Do other people have depression clothes? Right? You ever have, you know, why is it that when we get depressed, we go straight back to that one outfit, legit, whole closet filled with clothes, but you get depressed and you just find that one or two outfits, and you just rock them. Right? I'm going through and I realize how many, because I haven't thrown clothes out in like ever. And I'm going through and I'm looking at all these clothes, and I go, dude, you don't wear half this stuff. But also, if I'm left to my own devices, maybe 3 outfits. I'll just Homer Simpson that motherfucker. And I actually remember having a girl over my house in New Hampshire, and she was a rural woman, and I gotta put on a shirt. I already wore this shirt. It's in my clean clothes pile, but I need a clean shirt to go out with you. And she goes, why'd you wear this one? I go, oh, well, that's because we were going for a hike. I go, that's my nice shirt. She goes, excuse me? I go, that's my nice t-shirt. I don't do extraneous activities in that. That's for going out to bars or restaurants or performing or meeting a woman. And she the look of disgust she gave me. This country girl looked at me like I just said, oh yeah, sometimes I eat dick. That's the look she fucking gave me. Oh man. Oh baby. That's the exact look she gave me. Wow. Anyway, I'm trying to, Mike, don't be that Boston dude who throws out, let me fucking fuck all the time. Get to the questions. All right, boys and ladies. Let me get to... All right, so I got a few questions for this week, and I'd rather just hop into this because I can't be funny all the time. And I feel like a lot of people actually like the interesting stuff. A lot of you guys really liked the interview I did with Ed Ma because Ed was interesting. And I think a lot of people really need help with that. I'm realizing that a lot more people I know have relapsed than I've realized. A lot. And I know a lot of you are back to work, but a lot of us aren't. And quarantine quarantine wasn't this great time to better ourselves as we thought it was. To a degree, I don't know. I think I kind of bettered myself in certain ways, but it was also a thing that hurt quite a few people. So anyway, Mike, Jesus, hey man, we're talking about good stuff. I'm gonna get back to you. So my friend, so someone messaged me and they said, talk about starting over. Starting over, man. All right, so I guess this ties in what I was already talking about. Starting over. How do I start on starting over? Oh, God, I'm so glad I did this. Now that I get the giggles, I feel a million times better because this morning was fucking... Oh, it was hell. Oh, God, it was a real humbling experience. It was... I had to change my father. And like any fucking addict, he's doing that, like, I love you, and I love you too, Dad. You know, even though you've literally made life for our family excruciating, and I'm afraid we might lose there's a good chance we might lose the house if you have to go into a home, which you might have to do. I'm basically dealing with a weight on my back at this age I didn't expect to have to deal with for another 10 to 20 years. Anyway, he's looking at me, you don't love me. And I'm like, Dad, I'm literally changing you right now. I just took off your pants and I'm putting on your socks and your pajamas, and I can see your... I say this right to his face. I go, Dad, I can see your wrinkly old man balls right fucking now. If I didn't love you, I wouldn't expose myself to looking at these rotten prunes. God, it was awful. Dude, old people balls are the worst. Oh my God, they're filled with craters like the dark side of the moon. You ever leave an orange out for a week? That's what they look like. It was the worst. Oh, it was a humbling experience. Oh God. Anyway. That's something that only in a like the narcissism of addiction would make someone do is to sit there and go, you don't love me, as I'm fucking changing your pants. As I got over all of my issues to come home and take care of the family. I just risked PTSD coming to this house. You son of a bitch. All right, starting over. All right, let me get serious, Mike. So starting over, man, I've had to do this several times. And I understand why it's so fucking tough. I understand why it's so scary. And the reason is this. We're kind of taught in our society that life is a never-ending progression. And that culture and civilization is a never-ending progression. And that's not true. How often have you heard someone say something like, you won't be remembered kindly by history, you're on the wrong side of history, things like that? Well, number one, those are bullshit statements. That just assumes that in the linear progression of time amongst human civilization, we're always going to move in the progressive manner we're moving in now, with this sort of moral code expanding. And that's not going to happen. I guarantee you, because at various points in history, butchers and monsters have been remembered fondly. And nothing is static about man, most certainly not his morality. So to think that in the future we more than likely will go back to horrific things, and the people who think they're good right now are going to be remembered as monsters in the future. As we realize things we're doing that we think are good and appropriate are in reality bad. And we've gone through dark ages. Now we all know the big one, because most of us were raised in European influenced civilizations, or Western civilization as a whole, is the Dark Age of Europe after the collapse of the Roman Empire. But that's not it. There have been other dark ages. There was an enormous one after the sacking and burning of the library at Alexandria in Egypt before the birth of Christ. That ushered into pretty horrific dark age. There's been dark ages in the Levant and Mesopotamia, as Indo-Iranian tribal peoples came out of the steppes and the Caucasus. These things have happened. Even in Greece, they've gone through dark ages happen. And human life is like that. Our lives mimic civilization. You go through dark times. You go through dark ages. You go through periods where you regress. It happens, dude. I thought this year that I was going to fall off the wagon. I didn't, but there was a glimpse there I thought I was, but I didn't. And even certain things, there's certain mental things I had kind of taken over that I regressed on because I let it atrophy. And your mind, your mental health will atrophy just like your muscles will. If you don't work out, if you don't consistently get on top of that, go to therapy. I finally got some decent health insurance. So I got Mass Health, and I'm going to go back to therapy. And I'm actually excited to get my brain back in the old gym and start lifting dumbbells. Start lifting brain dumbbells. And because of that attitude of we're always progressing in that manner, we don't realize that sometimes we fucking fail. Sometimes, even if you don't fail, like what I'm dealing with, sometimes something you have no control over fucks up your whole life. And it puts you in a situation where you have to start over. Maybe you lose your job. Maybe you get divorced. Maybe you break up. Maybe someone you love dies. And you're going to start over. You move to a new place. You start over. Starting over scares people. And I understand why it's scary, but it shouldn't scare you. And one of the main reasons that it scares people is this. An enormous amount of Americans haven't figured out who they are as human beings. And we try and figure out who we are not based on what's inside of us and our soul and our spirit and our consciousness, but based on things that we do or things that we have. And that's not how it works, man. You're more than your job. You're more than your relationship. You're more than your marriage, as much as that's a cool and awesome thing if you're with someone you love. Most of all, you're more than your job. Here's the thing, if what you define yourself is something outside of just who you are, just simply, this is who I am, this is my soul, this is who I am, look at me. This is it. This is, for me, I'm Mike fucking Bain. You guys know who I am. You also understand that I have a character and a personality to me that is definable. It's there, but it's not a tangible thing. You can't fucking touch it, but you have an idea, if you've listened to me for a while, of what kind of human being I am. And a lot of people, and this is where the pandemic and the lockdown fucked so many people, is they started people in America especially have derived their identities from their jobs. And here's the thing, your job can be taken away. Your wife can leave you, your husband can leave you, your marriage can end. Someone you spend a lot of time with can die. The place where you live, your home can be taken from you. Your career can be taken from you. I lost both this year. Your sense of your place, the way you grow up, can be gentrified, and that can be taken away from you. Your country can even be fucking taken away from you. And it's crazy. And especially with work, when you define yourself by something like your truck. If you're, I'm a truck dude, this is my GMC. Well, guess what? What the fuck happens when someone takes away your truck, dude? It's like dudes who build their manhood on trucks and guns. What happens when someone takes that away? Then your manhood gets taken away, dude. It's kind of in the ancient Middle East, during kind of after Mesopotamia, during the age of Sumer and the Sumerian city-states, and kind of going down into the era of the Hittites, it was very common for these city-states and civilizations to go to war with one another. And after, what they would do is, people always built images to their gods. It's kind of why that whole there will be no graven images thing was in Christianity, and Muslims aren't allowed to show pictures and depictions of their prophets. But previously, the pagan faiths of the Middle East had physical statues to their gods. And when an enemy army sacked your city, they took your god. They took him. Or your goddess. They took the physical embodiment of your ox-headed god, and they brought it back to their city. And they go, fuck you, nah, I got your god. You know, today we would just say, my god's everywhere, my god's with me, right? You can't just, but back then their god was really represented by that physical fucking thing. So someone could take your god, and your whole civilization was like, dude, we don't have faith anymore. We don't got a religion anymore. They got our fucking ox god. That's kind of what happens with starting over. And I believe in America, it's designed that way. It's designed to keep you from starting over, because you snap up out of the rat race. Think about how many people you know who just want to get away and go start a farm in the middle of nowhere, but they're so afraid to do it. But when you tie someone to material goods in a consumerist economy, and you say that your personality and your soul is derived from these goods, you're derived by this house that you live in. It's just a house, man. It's just 4 walls and a roof. Some are better than others, but it's just a house. It doesn't make your family. Your family is your family whether you live in the street or you live in a mansion or you live in a shack. Your home is where you make it. It's where you go. Your soul and your personality or wherever you go with you. So the big fear of starting over is about losing things. It's about losing your home. It's about losing commodities, money. And understandable, man. Money's fucking scary. It's horrifying to be without it in a world where you need it. But the biggest issue with starting over is that fear of losing your identity. We've been a couple and we've been so close. We've been like one person. What happens when I start over? When you start over, you're still you, man. That's the key to a good relationship. Is not that you become a one person, like one of those weird celebrity things where they name you. That's fucking weird, dude. That's some like Akira shit. Like when you start merging together. I don't know how to explain that, dude. That's I just picture people mind melding and fusing into one, fucking Megatron. By our powers combined, we are a toxic relationship. Codependency. No, man, you're still you in a marriage or you in your house, but that doesn't define you. So when you're worried about starting over, you're worried about redefining you. And I'll say this again, the Americans define themselves by their jobs. In other countries, dude, people just don't ask you what you do. It'll come up at some point, but it's not, what do you do? That question is such a uniquely American question. And it never really came up when I was traveling in South America, in Colombia, and it never came up in Europe either. Just really wasn't. Only time it came up was in a hostel with other travelers. Locals never fucking cared. They weren't concerned with defining me by the thing I do to live, because that's not who you are. You're fucking Jake, who's a mechanic. You're Jake, who's a mechanic. You're not the mechanic named fucking Jake, dude. So when you start over, you're still you, dude. That's the biggest thing to remember. You haven't lost you. And I've watched a lot of people I know go through a very hard time because when their career was taken from them, I know a lot of people haven't worked since the start of the pandemic. They lost an identity. And a lot of people I know didn't build a life outside of work. And I've talked with people, and I always had comedy and other stuff. I was always had my interests. And I'm very lucky and thankful that I have that. A lot of people don't. And because here's the thing, I fucking hate working. God, I hate every fucking job I've ever had. Oh, I fucking hate them. And you know what that did for me? It made me figure out happy things to do to get away from my terrible fucking job. So as long as if you're really afraid of starting over, you might want to start thinking, who am I? First and foremost, who am I? Because if you're secure in you, you can always start over. And it's normal for human beings to start over. Life is a fucking roller coaster, dude. We all think that life is a graph and it just keeps going up. Up and up and up. Like that first part of a roller coaster where you go, ducka, 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 I'm going up. That's not how life works, dude. Sometimes you wake up and you're 50 and you lose your fucking job. You wake up and you're 45 and you get divorced and you lose your house. You wake up, you come home from work one day and your dumb fucking kids were playing with matches and your house is gone. And you lost it. That's how life, dude, that's how all of life works. We're programmed to think that it's just up and up and up. It's not, dude. So many people throughout history, you just wake up one day and there's a fucking hurricane. Or there's a flood, or there's an avalanche, or there's a mudslide, or there's any kind of natural disaster. What do you think, people had fucking insurance? You think fucking people in Greece had it in Athens were like, oh, earthquake, good thing I got that. Hey, Agamemnon, good thing I got that earthquake insurance. Ooh, Hoplite Plus, the best insurance for us. No, dude. And you start over. But if you got people in your court, man, you got friends and family because you've been a good people and you can trust them and they trust you, you don't have to worry the way you think you have to worry. And we've also been convinced that we're fragile. We're not, man. Human beings are strong, badass motherfuckers. You're a badass motherfucker. If you're listening, you can start over. You can start over, man. You can start over from that relationship that you were in. You think human beings just get a one and done? Nah, dude. You date someone, they break your fucking heart, you break their heart, you go out and you fuck, and then you start over. It's what happens. All right, and my aunt lost her fucking husband, man. She built a family with. Started over. Found another guy, and then he didn't work out, and now she's single and she's fucking happy. You know, she fucking hangs out with her friends. She's old. She's fucking drinking. She's fucking having fun. So what? And that fear keeps people in shitty jobs. You gotta think of your own family. Think about what our ancestors did. They left Europe to come to America, right? As immigrants. I don't know, well, everyone I grew up with was fucking mostly Irish. If they weren't, they were Italian and Polish. All of them immigrant families who came here at a time where you didn't have fucking telephones, or it wasn't that simple. And you didn't even find out your mom died till 4 months after. You missed the fucking funeral in Ireland. You gotta take a fucking boat back and you hit an iceberg and now you're fucking dead, dude? That sucks. If these people could start over in an unknown land, right, where they don't even speak the language, with no one. It's not like people just moved over here with their whole families. Some people would just grab their wife and be like, let's fucking go. We're going to Ohio. What's Ohio? I got no idea. None. And they got here and they hopped in a wagon train. They're like, I guess we're going to Oregon. And they're like, what the fuck is in Oregon? I don't know. And then you lose 80 or 10 kids to dysentery along the wagon trail. You ford a river and the other 2 die. Human life and history is all about starting over. And we've been taught we're weak. We've been taught we're weak in this modern age. Because when you think you're weak, you're constantly buying stuff to make up for your weakness. When you're taught you're weak, it's weak. Being taught you're weak is an abusive relationship. Have you ever been with someone who denigrates you? A spouse who denigrates you? Because if you build yourself up, you'll go and be happy. They don't want you to build yourself up. If you build yourself up and know your worth, you'll quit that fucking job. You'll leave that shitty relationship, and then you're out of the workforce. And they lost a good little fucking worker monkey, and now they're angry. They want you to stay afraid, man. I worked a job where people was like, I worked at this telecom company, and people were so afraid. Every day they came into work, they were terrified, man. Terrified that they were going to be fired. And it kind of got, and I was pretty strong to it, but it got in my head too. And so people stayed in this terrible job, horrible job. No one was happy. The workplace was one of the most miserable places I've ever been in my life. The energy was dark. People were depressed. Sometimes women in the office would openly cry because they were being broken down due to the stress. And it wasn't a stressful job, but they made it stressful to keep us on our toes, to keep us in an unhealthy environment and situation, to prey upon us. So we wouldn't leave and start over. And I remember the day I snapped and I fucking stopped going to work. And I before I was like, what am I gonna fucking do? And I remember, Mike, what did you do when you were 18 and you graduated college with no job? You fucking survived. You'll survive again. You're gonna survive. No, you starting over ain't bad, man. You're gonna have faith. You have to have faith in you, in what you can do. And to do that, you gotta believe in you. So stop believing you're weak. We're taught we're weak when we grow up. And so we kind of get trapped in this idea of this idea that in nature we would just fall apart. Man, you got everything you've ever needed right inside you, man. You got hands to build spears and throw rocks at pigeons and fucking eat pigeons, dude. Yeah, what are you gonna do, man? It ain't that bad. I say as a guy who's never eaten a pigeon. But you as a human being are born with everything you need to survive in the world. You could go out and survive. You could. You could. We survived ice ages. We've been through hell as a species and we're still here. And we didn't have any of this advanced technology. You can survive without it. Now, I'm not saying you have to, but what I'm saying is whatever thing you're holding on to that's preventing you from starting over, you can live without it. Now, it may not be the perfect life, but you can replace it. If it's not working for you, you can replace it. You can replace that shitty relationship with a better one. Replace that shit job with a new one. Is time to be tough in between? Yeah. Life's fucking tough, man. Alright? So grab your fucking balls or your ovaries and say, I'm the motherfucker. Because you are. You can do it. Don't be afraid to start over. I've done it multiple times. Is it scary? Yeah, man, it's fucking scary. It is. I'm not going to lie. You know? You remind yourself. Who am I? What have I done? I can start over. I've started over before. Remember when you were a kid? Every year you'd start over in a new fucking grade. New grade, new class, new teachers. Sometimes new kids. You go to a new after-school program, new friends. You go to college, you start over. But as we get older, the changes don't happen enough that we start to get scared. Change is supposed to happen. As I was saying about being strong enough to survive, we are born with everything we need. Right, man? You are. Born with your hands to build tools. But we think we can't survive the cold. You just got used to fucking heat, man. You got used to heat. You can survive and endure a lot colder stuff than you realize. We're just not used to discomfort. And that in and of itself prevents us from changing. And change is good. Change is good, brother and sister. And my non-binary listeners. Change is good. You're strong. You got feet to walk. Long before you had wheels. You got hands. You got a brain. You got skin. Some of us got hair to keep us warm. More than anything else, you got a fucking human soul. You got a soul, man. Spirit, whatever you want to call it. I don't even mean it in a religious sense, more in a spiritual sense. But you got something inside of you that makes you you. Your flesh and bone is just a carapace. It's a shell that carries you. It's not you. Your face isn't you. Dude, I just saw someone who got arrested. Looked just like me. Lots of people that can look like us. I'm a ginger. We all look the same. To you people. I can tell the difference between me and other gingers, but everyone else. God forbid there's another ginger in the room. Hey, Mike, is this dude your brother? You motherfuckers. That's racist. That's like saying all Asians look the same. You fucking racist bastards. But you got something, an energy, a thing inside you, and we're not taught about this. And when that's strong, you know who you are, man. And that's unique. That part of you is unique because we all got fingers and toes. We all got eyes. Not actually, Mike. Right now, I'm about to get an angry letter from a blind paraplegic. We're taught that we're weak. Because when you don't believe in yourself, you let others steamroll you. And we stay in fucking shitty jobs. And you stay in the system. When the reality is, I know so many people who are unhappy with their jobs and their lives and are unhappy with the rat race and consumerism and what society has become. They feel like they're missing something. And I know I do. I know I feel that way, and I'm not alone. I know most people. Most of our depression and anxiety comes from the fact that we're rejecting some aspect of society that feels gross and false. It feels unnatural and cruel and evil. We look around and we say, what the fuck is up with this world? And we don't take a chance and start over and do the thing we really want to do. Maybe you want to go feed poor kids in, I don't know, what's a poor country? Bolivia? Yeah, Bolivia is actually poor. Most landlocked countries are poor. You really need that port, dude. Port means everything. But that's what you want to do. You're afraid. And I was talking to a woman I met in Arizona who was, she spilled her guts to me. She was hanging out at this bachelor. This story. I don't know how much I can talk about this guy, but Jesus Christ, the guy I rented from this man was a legend. Guy stayed up for 3 days on coke. He wasn't even partying with us. He brought a woman there and she was talking about how she wanted to leave this company. But she was trapped because the job was starting to define her. Defining her relationships because you're only hanging out with people at your job. Right? If you have one of those situations where your friends are only your work friends, oh shit. And I was like, you can start over. She was afraid. She wanted to. She wanted to bad. But we're taught if we leave the system, if we leave that structured, rigid system, if you're a 9-to-5er, right, you're taught there isn't another way. You get scared, and understandably so. I know why it's fucking scared. Because you walk by that guy living in a box under a bridge, and you go, I was thinking about quitting this garbage fucking job, but I don't want to be that guy. That guy's also got some other fucking shit going on. But I know dudes right now that are living in campus and they're happy. Right? Maybe that's not what you want. If you were happy working at H&R Block, work the fuck out of H&R Block, dude. If you don't want to start over, don't start over. But if you aren't happy, start the fuck over. There's no reason, none, that you can't renew yourself, right? That you can't get sober, that you can't quit that garbage job, you can't leave that shitty relationship. It's fear. And you gotta conquer the fear with faith. He who knows how to die knows how not to be a slave. My favorite quote is by Seneca, the Stoic Roman philosopher. When you conquer your fear of death, which is an important one, conquer everything, because everything in life kind of resembles that. Because when you realize death is not this finite thing that you think it is, that just as the atoms that make our body didn't just begin with us, you know, the carbon and oxygen inside of you and even the iron have been around for fucking billions of years, dude. They were just mushed together to make you. And then you're going to die and they'll go back into the earth and, you know, whatever. They'll go back into the universe. Make something else. It's the same thing with that energy, dude. Your soul, your spirit, whatever that is. I'm not saying it's heaven waiting for you. Or you're going to be... It's like that Robin Williams movie, What Things May Come. Great movie, by the way. Fucking one of my favorite Robbie Williams movies. But what I am saying is, the thing that's inside you, that was here. Whatever makes that up, just like the atoms of your body, that's going to go into something. Right? So conquer that. Realize that that this idea of finiteness in an infinite universe is foolish. That it's just changing of states. And that your job is finite. Your relationships are finite. Everything is fucking finite. No, wait. I'm confusing myself. Well, yeah. They'll end and you'll change. Your job will change. You'll always have some way you survive, but I'm sorry, guys. I just fucked up and confused. You stupid motherfucker. I wanted to say that everything is changing, but nothing is a hard end. It's okay, dude. It's okay to look at that doorway, that abyss, and just jump into it. Seriously, think about what people have done before. Think about how many great people had to quit a shitty thing to start over. Think about all the fucking billionaires and tech guys who dropped out of college. And honestly, you're not too old to start over. Okay? Stop doing that. Stop saying, oh, I know people my age and younger than me going, I can't. What am I going to do, man? Fucking go back to school, dickface. Pick up a new trade. Well, I don't know, dude. I'm 38. Yeah, well, do you want to be... Do you want to be 60 and realizing that I want to start... You're going to be 60 and going, dude, I wish I fucking did something at 38. Stop waiting. Stop waiting. Stop saying that I'm out of time. No, you're not. No, you're not. You're not too old to fall in love. You're not too old to get that job you've always wanted. You're not too old to go live in that place you always wanted to live. I mean, actually, whoever wrote this, I know who you are, but thank you for writing this. I had my own epiphany. When we tie our identities to things, and sometimes part of your identity is your culture. And I was fucked up for a long time when my home, South Boston, got gentrified. Because this is my country, dude. I know a lot of you guys are just like, well, it's just a neighborhood. No, it's my fucking country. It's my country in the way that America is your country. This is where all my family's from. My parents were born here. My grandparents were born here. The rest came from Ireland, Scotland, and a couple of those were great-grandparents were actually born here too. All of my cousins were born here. All of my aunts and uncles, not just the ones that are my parents' brothers and sisters, but the ones that they married are all from here. Well, you guys, I meet people like, Mike, I was talking with a friend of mine. They think our accents are like fake, that I learned them on a movie set. I speak like this because this is how everyone in my life spoke to me before I went to college, before I met you people, outsiders. Doesn't mean I dislike you for being different any more than an American has to dislike a Canadian for having a different culture. But when I lost here, I lost my fucking home. I lost my sense of self. I lost a portion of my identity. My country was gone. My people scattered to the winds. And it fucked me up on top of all the other stuff I was dealing with. And it took me a while to finally realize that I can be a people in exile. Fuck, man, the Jews lost Israel and then ended up in Babylonian captivity and fucking slaves in Egypt, and the Romans were kicking them around. They were still Jewish wherever they went. They didn't lose that. Palestinians lost Palestine to the Zionists. They might be in Lebanon or Syria, but they're still fucking Palestinian. You don't have to lose that. I realized just fucking yesterday after getting this question, I don't have to lose that. Now it might change because I'm in a new place, but I'm with my people, my friends and family. We're still us. As much as our shared history are the blocks we grew up on and the stores we shopped at and the people that we knew in that vicinity, our attitudes towards life, that's our culture more than anything. And that comes with us. And no one can take that from me. You can push me out of my house and get rid of all the places that I used to know. But you can't take me from me because it's a part of me. There needs to be no fear to start over. God damn, Mike, you just did 50 minutes on this. No one's listening at this point. I'm sorry, guys. I kind of got deep into starting over. Didn't even do enough. Let me see. Someone asked, talk about traveling abroad. Well, I already did that. If you listen to my podcast, you would, I don't know why you asked me that. I already did talk about traveling abroad. Also, in the next episode coming out next week, Corey will ask me questions about traveling, so get into that. Somebody wrote, advice, just get after it, brother. People are twisted and just need content. That is right, my brother. People do just need content. But I don't know. I want to help people too, because I've seen a lot of people that are out there and are hurting, and maybe they need a new fucking voice. And also, I need to hear this. It's for me. I need to fucking hear this. Remind myself I can fucking start over. Oh boy. That one. I'm not going to open that can of worms this late into the podcast. That is a good question. I'm going to save that for another time. So how am I going to finish this up? All right, to answer your question that I've been talking about for a fucking lifetime. All right, I'll end on this. What am I going to end on, Mike? You've reiterated it a million times. Know yourself, dude. Know thyself. Remember that fucking scene in The Matrix when he walks into the Oracle's office? What does it say above the office? It says Temet Noset. It's Latin. It means know thyself. Have some fucking faith. The universe isn't going to put shit in front of you that you can't handle. You can do it. You can rise to the occasion. You can change. You can start over. The hardest part about starting over nowadays is this. We've been programmed to only need and to get off on instant gratification. That's what beating off is, watching porn, you know? Hey, I'm gonna bust right now. That's why a lot of young people really are having a hard time fucking and dating, because they don't realize that I just can't go in and just smash this bitch immediately. I just can't walk in and just... Reality is you might have to take her out on several dates, get to know her. But that's not what porn and masturbation has taught us. It's taught me that I power up my phone, I'm fucking busting, and I'm ready to go. That's not healthy. Social media has taught us that. TikTok, worst of all, has taught us that. That's the whole reason they give you these minute videos, 30-second Instagram reels. I'm getting information, bam, like fucking lightning, bam, 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 it's in, my dopamine is rushing. Hit. The reality of life, the real shit, that shit that feels good. That good. That good takes time. You don't just show up at the gym on day one and get jacked. It takes time to get jacked. It takes time to build up a good relationship and a happy home. It takes time to work on you. It takes time to work on a career. We're taught the opposite because we won't put in the effort. We'll start something and immediately just, how many of you can't watch a movie for 2 hours without looking at your phone? I struggle. Think about that, man. That ain't fucking healthy. 2 hours. 2 hours just staring at a screen. And you can't not be on a second fucking screen? I catch myself doing it. I can't just start this thing and stay on it. It prevents you from getting control of yourself. Keeps you kind of on edge, just like that job I was telling you about, or in a toxic relationship with someone, keeps you on edge so you don't fucking, like a woman who's with an abusive husband. She can't save up enough money to ever get away. You can't ever get a sense of safety inside yourself to get your shit together enough that you can be like, fuck this job, I'm out of here. Keep you fucking paranoid. I'm keep you fucking paranoid. You won't work to be the person you want to fucking be, and you'll keep buying my stupid fucking shit and looking at my stupid videos. Life isn't about instant gratification. Right? Yeah, sometimes is it fun to look at bunny videos on TikTok? Yeah, man. I like watching videos of people falling down and getting knocked out. But that's not life. And those don't even feel that good. You know what feels good, man? Sitting in a rocking chair you built. Sitting next to people you love, and when you put the time in to build a relationship with them, just watching a fucking sunset on your porch the house you bought, or you worked for, or you live in. You work for something. You make yourself badass and strong, and you get to that point, and you go, holy shit, look at what I have. I got that career. I got that woman. I got that. I got skinny. I climbed all those fucking mountains, dude. I fucking did it. I could never. That. Oh, baby. That's the nut you want to bust. That's a fat nut, dude. That's the bust you want. I'm telling you, man. It ain't easy. You know how it is, guys. You just spanking it all day, every day, watching porn. Hold it in. You ever got a girl you're gonna see and you hold it in? You hold in that fucking nut, right? You just hold it in for days and it wants to come out. And you're like, shit, get the fuck, you staying in there. I'm not wasting you on myself. I'm waiting for my lady friend. And then you fuck her and you bust and dude, you're like a fire hose just shooting. She's like, oh my God. You're like, yeah, that's just how I always shoot. You just lie. You're like, this is for you. No, this is because I shaved up for 7 fucking days. Plus, it feels so much better. Do that with your fucking life. Oh, man. Oh, God, I know I had to ruin the seriousness somehow. Go start the fuck over, buddy. You got this. Anyway, guys, thank you again for listening. I apologize if there are any discrepancies in audio this week. I'm going to make sure that this was a very interesting week. Get some more people coming on the show. If you're new listeners, welcome to the fucking party. If you don't listen to this, you only listen to the interviews, that's fine fucking too, man. I want to do more of those. It's just The editing work that goes into that is a lot more. But I still like talking to you motherfuckers every now and then. So, like I said, feel free to hit me up with questions, topics. It doesn't have to be, Mike, I'm looking for advice. It'd be like, hey, dude, my girl wants to be in a polyamorous relationship, or hey, my boyfriend wants to double team me with his guy friend. I can provide advice on that. It doesn't have to be fucking deep, spiritual. All right? I mean, whatever you fucking want it to be. Or just like, hey, Mike, I want to hear you talk about this. If it's something ridiculous, I might leave it alone. If you go, hey, Mike, I want to hear you talk about Mr. Potato Head, I'll give Mr. Potato Head, 10 minutes, have some jokes on him, or Mrs. Potato Head, or gender non-binary Potato Head. I also realize that I've been calling potatoes this whole time, and I think you guys have been calling them potatoes, and it's, potato or potato, but no one is saying potato. Yep, just found that one out. All right, anyway, stay motivated, you motherfuckers. Stay good to yourself. Believe in you. You got that fucking faith. Ain't nothing's gonna shake you. Yeah, I mean, it will. What are you talking about, Mike? Yeah, shit will shake you. Storm shake your house. The motherfucker doesn't fall down. I mean, sometimes, what do? You're building fucking another one, dude, all right? How many times you been sitting in your house and the wind's fucking shaking your house and you go, oh no, my house almost fell down last night. Oh, the wind was so bad, I thought the house was going to fall down. Has it ever fallen down? No. That's fucking you. That's your spirit, all right? Fucking man up. Woman up. All right, take it easy, motherfuckers. With a hood, yeah.